Everyone talks about buying low and selling high, right? But here's what actually happened this year. During the first quarter of 2025, there was a crash. Now, most people sold near the bottom, and they didn't buy back in time. So instead of buying low and selling high, they did the exact opposite. But I didn't change a thing. While everyone else tried to guess when the bottom was, my system just kept stacking automatically at some of the best prices of the entire year. And this is what people miss. It's not about timing the market perfectly. It's about being in it consistently.
Long-term success with Bitcoin doesn't come from trying to time the market, but from having a disciplined system that removes emotion and guesswork. In this video, seasoned investor Mark Moss shares the exact approach he uses to invest in Bitcoin while avoiding the panic and mistakes that catch most people off guard. His system is built to operate automatically, allowing him to accumulate Bitcoin at strong prices without having to react to every crash or rally. Stick around until the end of this video as Mark Moss reveals his very own Bitcoin strategy that helps him stay focused, reduce stress, and improve his overall quality of life, both financially and personally.
And if we're being honest, most people aren't just failing at their investing goals, they're failing at all their goals. They say they want to buy the house, take the vacation, maybe finally get the car they've been eyeing, but they're stuck saying maybe next year. And then next year turns into the next, and then it turns into 5. So why does that keep happening? It's not that people aren't smart. It's not that they're lazy. It's that they're doing it all backwards. You see, most people try to force their way to success with willpower and discipline. But real wealth doesn't come from effort. It comes from systems. Systems that fund your goals automatically before you even get a chance to spend the money. What if you didn't have to force success anymore? Like, what if every financial goal, every life goal was already funded the second your income hit the bank? That's what I built. A simple system that I'm going to show you that split and moved every dollar I made before I could touch it. And it looks basically like this. Like, all of the income goes into an account, and I don't spend from that account. Instead, every dollar gets divided into other accounts automatically. 10% into a tax vault, locked, untouchable. But of course, sitting in high interest returns. 40% into funding my living expenses, the house payment, the car payment, etc., right? This is the spending account. Another 40% goes straight into the investment bucket. And the last 10, well, that's the fun, that's the freedom fund. I get in, spend it, and enjoy all that. But here's the key. Every Friday, the system automatically buys Bitcoin. There's no button to push, no emotion involved. It just basically runs. Same with all the other future spending goals. Want to buy a new house? Auto pay for the down payment. Send your kids to college? You want to buy a new car every 3 years or whatever. Each goal becomes a line item in the system. It's just there, and it's just building quietly. And at first, it felt weird, like I was sort of cheating the game. But the further you go into this, the more you realize you're just not losing money to randomness. You're not losing money to lifestyle creep anymore. No more like, where did it all go? The money had a mission now, and it got there without me. But here's what I didn't expect. In quarter one, the markets crashed, and suddenly I was in the real world stress test. Like, what would happen with the system? Would it hold up? Because I didn't change a thing. And what happened next may surprise you. In January of 2025, Bitcoin touched a high of over $106,000, and by April had dropped all the way down to $74,000. That's a 30% drawdown. Fast. Now, again, I've seen this before, and I knew most people would do what they always do. They're going to panic. They're going to pause their contributions. They'll maybe even sell. Some did. And then they're going to try to wait for certainty. They're going to try to wait for the time when the price is going to move again. But I didn't change a thing. I didn't need to change anything. Every Friday, just like clockwork, the system checked the investment bucket and then it bought more Bitcoin. And that's exactly what it did. Through the entire downturn, March 1st, it bought. March 8th, it bought. April 5th, still buying. And I didn't think about this. No stress, because this wasn't emotion-based. It was rule-based. That's the big difference here. While everyone else tried to guess when the bottom was, my system just kept stacking automatically at some of the best prices of the entire year. And this is what people miss. It's not about timing the market perfectly. It's about being in it consistently when the opportunity shows up. But it's not just about Bitcoin either. You see, every other part of the system kept doing its job. Again, the vacation fund, still growing. The tax vault, still on track. The new real estate investment down payment, it's still climbing. I built this system to remove decision fatigue, emotional reactivity, and the mental drag that comes with uncertainty. And that's exactly what it delivered. So what are the results? Here's where it all added up. After one full year of running this system, completely hands-off, I'm using some round example numbers here. Let's just say if I invested $1,000 every single week and I never missed, I never skipped, that totaled $52,000 over 12 months. Now, during that time, Bitcoin's price over that time was anything but smooth. It started around $69,000. It shot up to $106,000 by January. It crashed all the way back down to $74,000 by April before climbing back to $110,000 by May. But because I kept buying every week, especially through the dip, my average purchase price ended up at $74,286. Now that's way below the peak and even below where Bitcoin is trading today. Now I would have accumulated just over 0.7 Bitcoin, and with Bitcoin now at about $111,000, that stack is worth about $78,000. So $52,000 in, $78,000 out. It's about a 50% return, not by trading, not by timing, but by sticking to the system. And I wasn't even thinking about it. That's the whole point. I set the rule once, and then I just let it run. But this wasn't just about growing my Bitcoin stack. Again, this was about funding life, right? This is the Endosurfication fund hit, right? $20,000 goal, done. It booked, paid in advance. The real estate investment fund that I have, sitting at about 65% funded right now. Taxes, of course, that money's holding there. The Freedom Fund, well.
This is how you buy and sell crypto the easy way, using eToro, one of the world's leading trading platforms. If you're new to crypto, eToro makes it super simple. Let me show you how I bought Solana in just a few taps. First, head to the search bar and type in Solana. Tap on it, then hit trade. I'm going to invest $10, that's the minimum. Now just hit buy and done. I now own Solana. Selling is just as easy. Go to portfolio, tap your Solana asset, then click close and confirm your sale. Super simple. That's how quick and beginner-friendly eToro is. But here's why I use eToro. Earn up to 4.3% interest on non-invested funds, 0% commission on stocks, and you can set up an account in just minutes if you want to start your crypto journey. Use my link in the description to sign up to eToro today and start trading.
It recently paid for a trip to Alaska, guilt-free. Now, every single one of those buckets filled automatically. Just like bills, they get paid. These goals, they get funded. And that's when it really clicked, right? The system didn't just protect me from my own mistakes. It moved me forward without me needing to be involved every day, right? That's the kind of wealth that most people never experience. Not just the dollars, the peace, the clarity, knowing that everything's getting taken care of, on time, on target, with no guesswork. And that's exactly what this was designed to do.
Most people say they want a better life, to buy a home, take the dream trip, drive the car they've always wanted. But they stay stuck, not from laziness, but from relying on willpower instead of systems. Mark Moss points out that real progress starts when every dollar is routed automatically. Income gets split the moment it lands. Some to taxes, some to bills, some to investments, and some to fun. No decisions, no stress. It's all preset. According to him, you can use tools like Sequence, Relay, or even regular bank accounts to divide income across goals like real estate, vacations, or Bitcoin. While others panic or delay, the system of your choice can keep building wealth for you, quietly and consistently. Now let's jump back in, as Mark Moss reveals exactly how his approach makes a real difference in both wealth building and peace of mind.
Okay, so to really see the difference that this system makes, let's compare what I did with what most people actually do. Let's talk about Manual Mike. Mike's smart, and maybe he's too smart. He reads the headlines. He listens to podcasts. He knows how this stuff works. So back in January, when Bitcoin hit 106,000, he said, it's too high. Look how expensive it is. I'm going to wait for the dip. I'm going to wait for a better entry. So then in April, when it dipped, it dropped down to 74,000. He said, oh, but it's crashing. I'm going to wait until it stabilizes. But then by May, it's back to 100,000, and now he's back to, it's too expensive again. Right? That's what most people do. They're waiting for the perfect moment that never seems to come because the perfect moment doesn't feel perfect when it shows up. Now, meanwhile, the system I built, I just kept buying every week. No hesitation, no FOMO, no panic. So let's put the two side by side. Same income, same market, same time period, and completely different outcomes. And the difference, again, wasn't intelligence. It wasn't effort. It was automation. So Mike tried to guess his way to wealth, and I built a system to deliver it. And again, this isn't theory. These are the results. The market gave both of us the same opportunity. One of us showed up every week and bought, and the other, well, waited for the perfect opportunity that never came and missed it. Now, a year after running this, it's completely evident, right? Wealth isn't about grinding harder or getting lucky. It's not about some stock pick. It's just about systems. It's not the guy who works the most hours who wins. It's the person whose money does the most jobs without them. And that's exactly what this system did. While I was living my life, it was stacking Bitcoin, funding my vacations, filling the tax vault. And it filled up the real estate investment bucket, down payment, all automatically, no thinking, no stress. And that's the shift, right? Most people wait for the big break, or they hope they'll figure it out next year. But the people who win, they built a system once. They let it run every day and for the rest of their lives. That's the shortcut. That's the real leverage. And something else, a bonus, all the free time, all the mental capacity that freed up, it helped me focus better, helped me to have less stress, helped me to have more time back. And when time is money, that was a huge bonus.
While others kept hesitating, trying to pick the perfect moment, the system kept doing its job. Bitcoin looked too high in January, too unstable in April, then too expensive again by May. That kind of second-guessing left most investors stuck on the sidelines. Mark Moss, on the other hand, let the automation take over. Every week, his system bought Bitcoin for him without fear. It also steadily funded his travel goals, kept taxes covered, and built toward his next real estate investment. Same income, same market, completely different outcome. He didn't chase the highs or fear the dips. He just stayed consistent. And in the end, the results made it clear that discipline beats prediction. Build the system once, let it run, and your future starts taking care of itself. Share your thoughts in the comments. Meanwhile, as investors like Mark Moss keep on accumulating, the price of Bitcoin just keeps climbing. What started as a steady rise has now turned into a full-on breakout, and the signals backing it are getting harder to ignore. After breaking above $90,000 earlier this year, Bitcoin surged past $100,000 and hasn't looked back. The forecasts that sounded bold just months ago are now beginning to look conservative. Analysts from major firms like VanEck and Galaxy Digital had projected a range between $180,000 and $250,000, but as institutional demand grows and global liquidity expands, those upper limits are starting to look more like stepping stones than ceilings. Regulatory clarity in the U.S. has improved just enough to open the gates for pension funds and wealth managers to get involved. And now, macro investors are piling in, not for short-term speculation, but to hedge against a system they believe is reaching a breaking point. As Arthur Hayes put it, Bitcoin trades on the expectation that fiat money will keep losing value. That expectation has only grown stronger. Even market veterans like Nick Badia and Willy Woo are shifting their sentiment. Instead of describing Bitcoin through old four-year halving cycles, they're pointing to liquidity mechanics and broader monetary imbalances. Bitcoin is no longer just a tech bet or a niche hedge, it's turning into the financial world's early warning system. And in a world where the US deficit is. Before we continue with the rest of the video, do check out Daily 5-Minute Crypto Newsletter with all the latest crypto and Bitcoin news. It's a fantastic analysis of on-chain crypto data and breakdowns, and the best part is it's absolutely free. They'll cover expert predictions, breakdowns of on-chain crypto data, and any breaking news you need to know, all in a nutshell. Click the first link in the description and enter your email to join over 50,000 others in becoming a better crypto investor right now. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these two awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.